Well, Manchester United won their second game of the season yesterday by beating Nottingham Forest by 3 goals to 2 in a very thrilling game that kept most of the fans off their seats after we conceded 2 goals in the first 4 minutes of the game. And it was really ridiculous, very, very disastrous. It was not one of those things that Eriksen really wanted to obviously see his boys go through, but obviously they fought back and won that game of football by 3 goals to 2. Welcome to United Matters channel. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? Rock and David is my name. We thank God for the gift of life. It's a Sunday. To all those that have gone to church and all those going to church right now, may the living to God bless you abundantly. Let's call in for 400 likes on this video as we celebrate this win at Old Trafford. For the Muslim viewers and subscribers, Barak Lau Fikum on the day. Now, we are going to do the player ratings for Manchester United versus the player ratings for Man United versus versus Nottingham Forest. We started off with Andre Onana in goal. He pulled out some good saves that obviously saw us take ourselves to the next level of doing business unusual at Old Trafford, and he kept us in the game. Out of the 2 goals that we conceded, there is no goal you're going to come out and obviously blame the goalkeeper for, because the first one, it was a keeper to beat. That is it. And the second one, it was a set piece, and the central defender of Nottingham Forest just got granted a free header by Casemiro and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. They failed to stop him from obviously burying that ball into the back of the net, and Andre Onana wasn't to blame. Every time he was called in for, he was there for the team, and he put in a very thrilling performance. That is Andre Onana for you, and I'm giving him a 6.5 out of 10. That is it, 6.5 out of 10, because whenever the team wanted him, he showed up and put in the saves. Though his distribution was not all that elite as expected, but I understand it was a different game altogether, with shockers that really came in through in the first in the first opening minutes of the game that saw us lose that beautiful game of football. Now, let's go to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. To me, he's one of the best performing players in the previous 3 games we're going to have to play. Registering an assist in the game of Wolverhampton Wanderers. In the game of Tottenham Hotspur, he had a decent display, though he got a yellow card, and Ten Hag took him off because he never wanted to see him really getting another second yellow card to be sent off. And in the game yesterday, he was really a bright spark. Defensively, he was really great, and he put up a very thrilling performance. And I think he was really doing the best of the job, and I'm giving him a 7 out of 10 for me. That is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's getting a 7 out of 10 for me. That is it. So that gets us to the left back. That is Diego Dello. He put up a very good performance, guys. You know, being played out of position, but we all know that he's one of those players that plays well on both full back positions, the left and right. He always put in the required shift, and he just had a good game. And having not played some 90 minutes for the very first time this season, I think this one sank well into his tank, and he's ready for the Arsenal game. He was so much lively going forward and defensively, and he gives us what we call a press resistant fullback reference into his position. I'm giving him a 7 out of 10 for me. I'm giving him a 7 out of 10 for me. That is Diego Dello. We go to the central defense. Rafael Varane, very decent display, but obviously he got an injury, and this is where he obviously wants us to go in the market and obviously sign in a right-sided centre back, because it looks like where we're going, we might reach when you're having only 3 centre backs. That is Maguire, Lindelof, and Lisandro Martinez. Maybe even John Evans will come in through and obviously get the job done, because Luke Shaw, who obviously shifts into the left-sided centre back, is also out for some good months. And that's why you've seen stories that United is going in for Chicharella, and I'm going to come back with that story in a nick of time. Now, Varane 6.5 out of 10, and I think he had a decent display not until he played only 45 minutes and he got off. Then Lisandro Martinez, he had a very good show up into that game, composed, and we fought back because of the resilience of that central defense for not allowing in a third goal. We get a third goal, however much it's Old Trafford, it's obviously another big mountain to climb, but Lisandro Martinez put in the shift. Allow me give him a 7 out of 10. Lisandro Martinez. Casemiro, man of the day, who went ahead to obviously gate himself on target to level up the game, and he had the chance to level up the game in the first half when he obviously got that header and headed it wide, yet he was into yet he really put in what we call the required shift, and he came in through and obviously got us an equalizer. And for the second time in a row, I've seen this man Casemiro registering 3 or 4 shots at the goal of the opponent. The game of Wolverhampton Wanderers, I saw Casemiro put in shots. In the game of Tottenham Hotspur, I saw him registering shots at goal. Even today, he registered 2 shots, 3, 2 on target and 1 off target, and 1 crossed the line to give us the equalizer. I think around, was it the 52nd minute of the game? That's when we leveled up the game through that effort of Casemiro. So to me, I think we need Sofyan Amrabat. I've always come out and given you my reason as to why I want to see Sofyan Amrabat ASAP as much as Henry. Do you know why? I see him as a sitting defensive pivot, and if at all we get Casemiro more liberty going forward, he's obviously going to get us more and more goals and assists into our season. So I'm giving him a 7.5 out of 10. That is it for Casemiro. 7.5 out of 10. Eriksen playing alongside him, he's another player that put in what we call a shift that was really required, especially acting as glue to that midfield and bringing compactness in that midfield and the cohesion in between him, Bruno, and Casemiro that was transferred or mirrored from last season and put into this season, gave us some great touch and adrenaline to obviously go through this team and win it. He scored the most important goal of the game. That is the first goal in the 16th minute of the game, where Rashford played him on a cross and really tipped it into back, or flicked it back into the back of the net for Manchester United. So to me, I think Eriksen did his job, and he just shows what's the difference in between him and Mason Mount. And you saw how at least our transitions were obviously good, especially building from the back, because Eriksen does it, especially when it comes to connecting the midfield to the attack. Eriksen does it better than Mason Mount. So I'm giving him a 7 out of 10. That is Christian Eriksen. We go to Bruno Fernandes into that midfield. Guys, this guy had just been hailed by Kevin De Bruyne before this game. And Kevin De Bruyne rated him ahead of Martin Odegaard. And Bruno is really having an exciting season this time around, because he went ahead and obviously scored a penalty, put up an assist for the second goal, and for the first goal, he pulled the trigger outside the 10-yard box area. The goalkeeper flashed that ball, or fisted that ball back into the vicinity of Anton Martial. Martial played into Rashford. Rashford cut inside with some chop backs and obviously put in a cross that saw Eriksen get us the first goal. So it shows you that he was involved in all the 3 goals. An assist, a goal, and a shot at goal that resulted in the first goal. So if you want to see what this game of football is all about, I think Bruno Fernandes led us to the win, as leading us from the front. The red card they get, I think it's him that was really brought down. If at all I'm not mistaken, it's him that was brought down, and when it's brought down, a red card is given, and that gates Marcus Rashford space to really do that chop to the byline, and brought down by Danilo, and then we gate our penalty. So that sees us win that beautiful game of football. That is it coming in from That is it coming in from Bruno Fernandes. And obviously, I'm giving him an 8 out of 10 for me. He put in a very good performance as a captain, and that fight back was really rarely unseen of at the club of Manchester United. And it's good to see to it that the captain was part of this. I'm giving him an 8 out of 10. Anthony starts showing something different. Very many ball recoveries, very many passes completed. But to my extent, I think his end product to the game is really lacking. He's too selfish. When he's required to obviously go ahead and obviously release his fellow players, he doesn't. He takes long to obviously make certain decisions, and it costs us, especially in the transition as we attack as Manchester United. So I think he needs to improve on his end product. The rest of the things does them better. He's running, pressing, intensity, chop backs, but the end product of his game is really lacking, and I think it's one of those things he should work on immediately. If at all he really works onto that, he might be one of the best right attack midfielders into the league. So I'm giving him a 6.5 out of 10 for me. Then we go by they had a very good shot on goal, and it was saved by Matana in the second half, and I think he should obviously get us more of those and creativity. But you saw to it that he is at least performing more better. That is it. So we go to Marcus Rashford, who played as the left attacking midfielder. 2 assists on the day. 2 assists on the day. That is Marcus Rashford. And even the second goal, he's the one who really chops that ball, or chips that ball to the back post. And obviously, Bruno reads it very well and heads it to Casemiro to put it in the back of the, meaning that he was also involved in the 3 goals that he went ahead to score at Old Trafford. I think it's evident that he thrives better as a left attacking forward, or a left forward, or when he's playing wide, other than him leading the line. And you saw to it that when we had Anton Martial as a focal point, you saw to it that this team was obviously trying to play good, especially into the final third of the pitch. So for me, Rashford really had a half-decent game, but the stats were really elite. Involved in 3 goals. The second goal shows you that it was a well-worked-out training goal, and I think the set-piece manager of Manchester United and trainer just had the set-piece trainer of Man United just had a celebration after what we did. Because it was a free kick, Bruno laid it outside the Tina's box area to find Marcus Rashford. Rashford took a single touch and then did a chip towards the back post. And Bruno made a run and headed that ball into the back of the net. Very worked out free kick. And there was another set piece that led to the red card of the central defender of Nottingham Forest, that Bruno passed into Delo, but Delo never read it very well. But I'm liking the way we are creating magic from these set pieces, and I think it can help us really construct some beautiful goals this season. Rashford, 7.5 out of 10. That is it. 7.5 out of 10. So after him, we go to Anton Martial. You see how we play when you're having a real number 9. That's why the return of Anton Martial and Rasmus Højlund is good news to this club of Manchester United. And we are going to have played 4 games before we go into the international break, and I think after the international break, even if we lose against Arsenal, we are going to look a more threatening team than any other team, because every time you're going to play with the centre forward leading the line for us, we are going to look better. Marcus Rashford, wide left, the Antonys are going to look better, the Brunos are going to look better, because Anton Martial gives you the hold-up play that you obviously require. You saw the first goal, how he obviously passed into Rashford, and the run he makes to obviously alternate the defenders and create space for Marcus Rashford and Eriksen to obviously get into the 6 to score that beautiful goal that gave us life in the 16th minute. And he did lots of things on that field of play, the hold-up play and acting as a focal point each and every time we are needing a player of that stature. And I'm giving him a 6.5 out of 10, and he got in 60 minutes in his tank, meaning that in the game of Arsenal he might even get in 70 depending on the game situation at the Emirates. We got with the substitutes. Lindelof, 6.5 out of 10 for me. He had all what he had to do and keeping a clean sheet in the second half was one of those things that he really did, and he obviously saw us going to that level. That is Lindero for you. Sancho, I'm tempted to give him a 7 coming off the bench and putting in that shift that was really required. Oh my God, I really like him, and it shows you why the Ten Hag has gone ahead to bench Garnacho and not give him any minutes, because Garnacho had chances to kill off the game of Wolverhampton Wanderers, the game of Spurs, and his end product was really lacking, and it costed us very, very, very many moments into those games. So Sancho comes on through, shows Garnacho what to do when you're brought on as an impactful player off the bench, and that was really something great coming in from Sancho, and I'm tempted to give him a 7 out of 10. Scott McTominay, 6 out of 10, because I didn't see anything he had to do apart from his physicality, fighting left, right, and center, and I think he's one of those players that we should sell. Let's accept the £30 million coming in from West Ham, and we sell this guy and we bring in other players, because Dean Henderson being sold right now, we're going to have money to bring in Sofiane Amrabat, but Harry Maguire is standing still and saying, I'm not leaving Man United. But if I told you sell Scott McTominay for £30 million and get into Debo, you are obviously having a very clear message sent to Harry Maguire that I'm not going to play a game of football in here for you. Erik ten Hag, 6.5 out of 10. I believe he needs to be more aggressive to these players and obviously see us develop what we call a pattern of play. That is it. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. My man of the match is Bruno Fernandes, 8 out of 10. Who is your man of the match? And I can't wait for you to go into the comment section and tell me who your man of the match is. Rokan David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later. I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. My Muslim viewers and subscribers, Barak Lau Fikum. I'm out.